Have you guys ever tried hydroponics or aeroponics or any of the ponic varieties, aquaponics? There's a lot of them. There is a lot. It's definitely something I've been very interested in, especially as the supply and demand situation for fertilizer and natural soils that haven't been compromised have been on the rise. And to be honest with you, there's a lot we can grow in Florida, but in the summer, there's not a lot we're growing. So I'm gonna try and explore the hydroponic realm, and I hope you guys join me as we go down that rabbit hole together. So here's how we're getting started. You can see more. You can smell? You can smell. You can't eat them, but you can smell them. No, 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 don't eat them. You just smell. Yeah, do they good smells? You got a head tilt for us. Thanks, Wally. I know. We are starting our hydroponic journey. Now, I don't know what exact method of hydroponics we're going for. It might be aeroponics, it might be the cracky method. I don't know, but I know a lot of the seed starting looks like something like this. I ordered some net cups in a larger size, a smaller size. I'm having a hard time finding containers that fit them. So either I ordered the wrong size or I'm just not equipped for it. But I didn't want to spend money when I didn't have to. So you can see we have an assortment of jars, some special dog food that actually the can happened to fit. And I've used some clay balls in a paper towel method that I saw. I'll link to the video down below of where I saw this. But essentially the thought is the clay balls will be area enough for the roots to grow down. The paper towel, once we put the seeds in here, the paper towel will keep the humidity on the seed. And then what's going to happen is I am going to wrap these jars in aluminum foil and that's going to keep the sunlight out, except for obviously like this one doesn't need it. But you know those jars at the store that, like, obviously some of the jars, the label came right out. You know, my Classico tomato sauce sort of came off. But these mayo jars, I cannot get the sticker off with anything. I've soaked them. So I thought, you know, that's kind of an added bonus. It's a little extra layer of opacity to keep the sunlight out. So I was like, okay, that's fine. And you might notice that we have these bags, I'm sure you recognize from the grocery store. These previously had Brussels sprouts in them, and I saved them because I use them for supporting the produce in the garden. But I thought, you know, these might be good net cups to start with. They're literally nets that we've turned into a cup with the help of some rubber bands. And that way, I'm assuming we will definitely need to transplant these into larger containers later. So that might just look like a different, well, let me rephrase that. I think the containers with the net cups, the net bags, will be put into a larger container later, so this will help expand that process. I don't really know. I anticipate that these smaller net cups will be for herbs that, you know, don't require as big of a root system, so we can just drill a hole according to that root system. I don't know. I'm not sure. We're going to find out, but I'm sharing the journey with you. So aluminum foil is going on, and then we're going to use, again, just trying to use things that we had on hand. You go boy, you didn't eat it. You're a smart boy. Okay. Whoopsie doopsie. All right, here, Wally. I'll tell you what. You want to smell? What's going on? Yeah, it smells. Okay, I'm going to take that as it's approved. I was just trying to put aluminum foil on him. He was all like, what are you doing? So I forgot to clarify. The reason there's only enough net cup just touching the water is because we just want enough to wick up. And we want this to maintain this level long enough so that way the seeds can start and continue to grow their roots down here. And then that way in this open space here, that's where the oxygen that the roots are going to need, so they don't suffocate essentially. They need that open air. So that's what that gap is doing. And the theory is, at least behind Dr. Kratky and the Kratky method, is you don't need an air pump, air stone, whatever you want to call them, for his method, because as the water decreases, the roots will go down and then the air roots will take up the space up here. So it balances each other out. Now, obviously this is just water. There's no nutrients in here. We're just trying to get the seeds started. But theoretically, if this was a small container with nutrient-rich solution in it, that's what would happen over time. So we'll see. We'll see if that happens. For now, more aluminum foil. All right. So everything's covered. I didn't really cover this one, the aluminum foil, because technically the net cup goes down to about where my thumb is. And so all of the clay balls are in there filling it up. So I don't think we need to worry about it, but we'll find out. Now, my plan is to put the seeds in, and then I'm using these plastic cups because I'm trying to use things that I already had on hand, and I had these left over from a project. You could tell they're not like clear, but they're frosted. So I'm thinking, boom, humidity dome. I don't know if that's how it works. I'm terrible at starting seeds on a good day in the normal method, but you know, we try. So here's my plan. We have, well, you guys know the hot frog area. We have this nice window here, which mostly Wally likes to use for security purposes. However, it does get some nice afternoon sun. So I'm thinking of putting them over there so that way they get some sun without being too crazy. This area is obviously comfortable enough for the worms to stay in and be happy. So I think most plants will do okay over here. I hope. I really do. There's a few more containers I'm going to start, but I also have this container that got from the grocery store, took the tags off, cleaned it up, and thought I cleaned it up. Maybe it needs to be cleaned again. Anyways, I have a theory that I want to test out where another method that I saw some individuals on the internet use to start seeds was they got a shallow container like this, put just enough soil in the bottom to create that normal kind of growing condition. Boom. And then, you put the seeds on, you cover it up. It's got its built-in humidity dome. And then when the seedlings get big enough, like an inch or two, they gently remove them out of the soil and then just rinse the dirt off and then transplant the seedlings that way. I don't know. I've seen a few people do it along these lines. Actually, I've seen more than a few people, let's be honest, do it this way over this method. But I figured we can try. So, will this work? I don't know, but we'll find out along the way. Well, it's only been seconds for you. It's technically been 2 days for me because 1, life, and 2, we have our hot frog over here. I don't know if you can tell, but there is 1 fly over here. Now, I've checked. He's not from the bin, so I think it's just it's Florida in the summer. The doors are opening and closing a million times a day because of the dogs and everything. And I think we just got a fly in here, didn't notice it, and then it must have laid eggs or something because we have had a bit of a hatching, and so I've got the shop vac out, and this is where they love to congregate because of the sun, and sort of some of the windows over here. But I have been kind of shop vacuuming them out so they don't get out of control and lay more eggs or anything. But and that's why we were a little delayed on this, because I was planning on using this kind of nice sunny window like we talked about a few minutes ago to have all of the plants here. So hopefully we can leave them here and they will be uninterrupted. But it looks a little crazy right now, but I wanted to show you guys. So we have fennel. We're going to try fennel in the net cup, the bigger one, the smaller one, and then like the recycled one. And we did that also with one of the parsleys. And then the other ones where we didn't have enough, we just did the bigger net cup in the smaller can, and then the smaller net cup in the bigger jar. There's just water in here from the other day, so we let it kind of air out I mean, we use the drinking water, but you know, it's at the end of the day, it's still in a county, so we'll see. But we put about 2 or 3 seeds in each little area. If the funnel open so we could see, there's 2 seeds in here. Everything stayed damp, so I think the seeds will be good there. The air is coming out, and actually, let me get a thermometer. Let me get my thermometer, and we'll see what temperature it is over here by the window. Okay, and just at a glance, these are what we're planting. We planted 1 spinach, and then 2 or 3 each of the fennel, dill, and then curled parsley, flat parsley. As those of you can probably imagine what these are for, this is for the swallowtails. That's what they love, that's what they eat. They're my favorite butterflies to rear. So I want to try to make sure they get more food, but you know, in Florida it's hot. Dill, fennel definitely don't love the summer heat. Parsley, debatable. It tends to bolt, I think. So we're gonna try some hydroponic methods, and that's really what the objective of this is. And then on a more personal note, I'm still a little leery about the whole plastics and that type of stuff with foods. I figure maybe we'll ease into it with butterflies and feeding them, and then see how we feel about the process. And that way, no harm done. If we kill some herbs, you know, whatever. And then I want to show you guys how all of the plants are going to be doing. So for right now, we have 2 dills, all of the parsleys over here. I have to leave room for Wally, head of security, to be poking his nose out there. I cleaned up some of the nose art so we could still see outside. And I moved the thermometer over here so we could see in this window. It's about 75, almost 76, 52% humidity. We are inside. There is an air vent blowing cool air kind of in the area, but it's definitely getting deflected a little bit by the hot frog, which is, again, part of the reason the hot frog's here. I didn't have enough room, so we're overflowing, and we're going to probably be using this window, leaving it cracked a little bit. This one definitely gets a little bit more sun during the day, so we'll see. But we have fennel over here, and then 1 spinach that I've never grown before. It's this one. If anybody has any recommendations, let me know. But the temperature says soil temps over 85, halt germination, and so I was like, well, it's in the triple digits here in Florida, so those aren't going to go outside. And all of these are brand new seeds from Botanical Interest that I bought on their sale a few weeks ago, so I know that they're all fresh. They should be good, so here's hoping that they take. So I think that's going to conclude this, we'll say, phase 1, start of this project. We'll be updating you guys as the seedlings take or don't take, and you'll probably see some updates as it is with the hot frog feedings when we do them. But yeah, this is how it starts. And thankfully, we only had to buy the net pots for some of the jars and some of the clay balls that we used, and pretty much everything else we could upcycle or recycle from stuff on hand. So that's really exciting, and hopefully makes it more accessible to me in the future, to others in the future, and it's a cheaper learning curve, I hope. Okay, friends, thanks for hanging out. We'll update you soon. Goodbye.